Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Daniel Broniatowski, and I'm the director of the Maestro Musicians Academy. We are a music school that is based in the Boston, Massachusetts area, specifically in the towns of Lexington, Bedford, and Walpole. And every month, I do these, I guess you could call them video casts, and we address some of the most common challenges and questions that parents have about music lessons and how to go about conquering those challenges. Today's topic is going to be about how to cultivate regular and appropriate practice habits for your child. Now, of course, if you are an adult student, this can absolutely apply to you. But generally, one of the most intimidating topics that comes up when we are speaking with parents who are considering our program is that they don't know exactly if their child is going to find lessons fun, and there's this big fear that the music lessons are going to be like a chore. And the most common response I get from parents who are in this mindset is, I want my child's lessons to be fun. I don't want it to be like a burden to them. And we agree at Maestro Musicians that lessons should absolutely be fun. And I'm going to address this topic in a way that actually sidesteps the question a bit. I'm not avoiding the question, and you'll see as you keep watching this video that I'm actually going to be answering the question head on. But I like to start by actually saying that I think it's the wrong question to ask. I'm going to say that not in a judgmental or punitive way, but what I mean by the fact that it's the wrong question to ask is that often what happens is that people view music, because it is meant to be fun and it is something that's so natural to us, they view it as something that should be so natural that it shouldn't require any kind of discipline. And I'm the last person to say that, we're creating robots who are playing, doing only what the teacher says, and we don't have any creativity. However, what I will say is that there's a strange kind of dichotomy in music where the more in control of your musical expression that you are, the more free you are in your playing. So this is not something I'm going to go into huge detail right now, but this is where I'm coming from when I'm talking about what I'm about to say. So bear with me. When a child is learning how to play an instrument for the first time at the beginning, we absolutely want to have the goal in mind of cultivating regular practice, which means that there'll be a certain time, not often immediately, but there will be a certain time where this child will be expected to go to the piano or the violin or whatever instrument and have a certain routine. That routine might be every day. It might be 3 times a week. It might be 5 times a week. It might be 6 times a week. But whatever the routine is, it's important to have a routine. And here's why. When you're learning a physical skill, and you can say the same thing about athletics, but we're talking about music, you've got actually 2 brains. You've got the brain up here, but then you've also got this non-existent brain in your muscles that has to become existent. And what do I mean by that? We are cultivating a mind-body connection between the brain and the body that is basically sending signals back and forth. It's a feedback mechanism where the brain is saying, okay, fingers, I want you to move this way. And then your ears are saying, oh, that sounds right, or that doesn't sound right, whichever one. Now, of course, a child is not going to understand that, and they're not going to see the point of it. But what I'd like to bring up is the fact that when you are talking about learning a new skill, and it happens to be something non-musical, let's say math lessons or science, and the child has homework, well, we never question if it's going to be fun or if the child is going to have a good time doing it. We kind of understand that if we value education, no matter what the subject, when the child has learned to a certain level what it is he or she is learning, there's automatically going to be some kind of positive outcome. Otherwise, why would we do it? Let's be honest. So this is the spirit of where I'm coming from. And this is why I say it's not the right question to ask if one should be worried about practicing when someone is signing up for lessons. It ultimately comes down to a question of faith. You as a parent, what do you believe your child can do? What should they do in terms of, do you believe that music is a worthwhile activity to boost their confidence level, boost their academic level, and also boost their social emotional intelligence. All of those things are very important facets in music education, and they are results of years. Those skills get developed over years of music education. So this is where I'm coming from in this particular situation. Now we can talk about nitty gritty and details. So let's talk about different age ranges, age groups. A lot of kids who are 7 years old, 6 years old, some kids are 4 years old, are beginning their journey. And this is often the age when parents are, concerned that lessons are not going to be fun for their child. And particularly when you're dealing with younger kids, it's a very valid concern because they're not necessarily ready to have the routine of practicing, once a week. I'm sorry, once a day, or Freudian slip, no, once a day, or maybe 5 times a week, whichever one it is. But what we aim to do at this time, and I'm going to tell you why this is so important in a minute, but with a really young child, let's say a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old, our goal is not to cultivate the practice routine of something regular, but it's actually to cultivate two things. One is the relationship with the teacher and the student, and the second one is actually to cultivate the desire to come to the lesson every week and to open the case, open the violin case or go to the piano. And these are important things for a child because what we're doing at the young age is we're inculcating values. We are cultivating the idea that a child understands that there is something to be fun, but about doing what he or she is doing, but it only gets more fun when one does what the teacher says. Now, of course, our job as educators is to make it fun in the lesson and inspiring. It's very important that when we cultivate this relationship with the teacher and the student, that we have a certain way of being that attracts children, makes the children want to actually be with us, and finds the music lessons not hard. Because if you find something hard, especially at a young age, why would you do it? Adults kind of get conditioned into this mentality that, oh, it's hard, I need to fight harder. And okay, there's a time and place for that. We have competition in life. We have competition in music. For those who are interested in music competitions, it's not something that I personally, push on students, but there are those who respond very well to it. And but with children, we have a totally different mentality. And what we are looking to do is grow a love for the music. We're looking to have a love for playing. And when we cultivate that love, there will be hard times. There will be times when a student says, I can't do this, or I don't want to do this. There are kids who, let's be honest, some kids need a bit of a push. They're lazy. I mean, it happens. We're dealing with humanity here. You have all kinds of people. And parents' goals will vary depending on what their children's needs are. There are some parents who legitimately use music lessons as a way to get their kids to get their act together, to work a bit. I'm not talking about the 5-year-olds. I'm talking about 7, 8, 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds. And you as a parent know your child best. And the most important thing you can do as a parent is to communicate with the instructor. What is it that motivates my child? Some children are motivated by stickers. I kind of believe that in this new generation of instant gratification, where everyone is on screens all the time and just kind of expecting to have this like wow factor and pizzazz because they've done something immediately, I think the sticker thing is a little bit of a harder sell today. However, children are always motivated by prizes. There are some children motivated by treats. I don't believe in bribing kids with food, but sometimes there's a time and place once in a while. If they, might practice a certain number of weeks, and you might want to give them an ice cream, I don't know, something like that. Your child best. But what I'm getting at with this is that when we cultivate these habits, don't be afraid of cultivating practice habits, and don't be put off by the fact that there could be some work involved, because your children will ultimately thank you for it. What this all comes down to is not really so much about music. It's a question about values, parenting styles, and faith. And all of those things that come together, when you have a good results, you have confidence that is built, and you are giving your child or children the skills to have a lifetime of not just musical enjoyment, but appreciation for what it takes to have a job well done. And you are giving them the confidence to believe that they can do anything that they put their minds to. I'm Daniel Broniatowski from the Maestro Musicians Academy. We are located in Boston, offering online and in-person lessons. The online lessons are all around the world via the World Wide Web. Find out more about us at maestromusicianslexington.com. You can find the link in the comments section of this video or on our Facebook page, Maestro Musicians Lexington. Have a great day, everyone.